What's up guys, welcome to another episode of Poor Man Mods. Today I'm going to be installing this Snow Performance meth injection kit. Or water meth kit. This is not a sponsored video, although I would have loved for it to be a sponsored video. I did some researching, went around and looked for one of the better, cheaper kits. There are better kits out there than this, there are cheaper kits out there than this, so this kind of seemed like the middle of the road kit for me. It's just their universal kit. I think it was 350 or 360 bucks. You also might be able to piece together your own kit. I would have loved to do that, but when I was trying to piece my own kit together, it really wasn't going to come out to be that much cheaper. The pumps aren't cheap at all. Everything that comes with this kit, like if you add up all the prices, it's really not that expensive. I may have saved a little bit of money if I pieced together my own kit, but then I also wouldn't have a warranty with it either. So there is a benefit in buying stuff as a package deal like this, so you do get a warranty. And it does come with instructions too. If I pieced together, I wouldn't have instructions, and reading the instructions from this, I learned some things. So I guess do your research, and at the end of this, I might be glad I didn't piece together my own kit. Now, I would like to call this a how-to install, but I don't want to call it that because there may be some things that I do that some people don't approve of, or some things that might be wrong. So I'm just going to call it an installation, not a how-to. So first things first, we're going to go to the back of the car and we're going to try to mount the reservoir and pump. Now, one of the things I learned from reading the instructions that I wouldn't have learned if I pieced together my own kit was that the inlet on the pump has to be at the same level or lower than the lowest point in the reservoir. I have some, apparently they're really expensive zip ties from my job. These are plenum rated zip ties that are pretty dang long. And what I did, I zip tied the reservoir to my roll cage here. Now right now it can rotate, so it's probably gonna fall when I put the water in it, but this was just a mock-up I did before filming this video. I think I'm gonna cut this zip tie, move it over, and then put another one on this part of the cage so it can't fall over. Now I'm gonna have the pump down here where the seat would have been, and I will show you that, so it's below the reservoir and it's only within 2 feet of the reservoir. So the reservoir is going to be right about here, and I'm going to try to put another zip tie to go behind this bar so it can't flop over. But I'm going to leave it like this for now so I can easily install whatever goes down here, and then I also have to install the low level light. So I'm going to leave this adjustable for right now. So I'm stupid, this is just a learning process I guess. I'm going to now uninstall the mount from this location because when I drill the hole for the low level switch, debris is going to get in here and I'm going to have to clean it out. So I don't want to make a mess in here. So I'm going to drill this out and put the low level switch in here. Okay, so the instructions say to drill a 13/16 hole. So what I have here is a 13/16. It's kind of like a hole drill bit. So it's not like a typical drill bit, but it's 13/16. Now when you're drilling this hole, it says there can't be any burrs or debris in the hole, otherwise it won't seal properly. And it says the ideal mounting location is about 1/3 of the way down because you want to be warned when your reservoir is low, not when it's empty. So we're going to do about 1/3 of the way down, and it's split into thirds here. So I'm going to do it right on this line, right about here, and I'm going to drill a hole. The instructions say to use a like one of those Christmas tree looking drill bits, but I didn't want to spend $40 on a drill bit, so I bought this one for like $7. And now we're gonna run water through this just to make sure there's no debris in the tank. Okay, so now the instructions say to remove this rubber seal from the low level switch. Then insert this seal into the hole. And fully seat it until it kind of snaps in. And then it says to lubricate this with water and then insert it into the seal. This is notched, it's flat on this side. It says to have the notch on the right side, and there's a symbol on the bottom to have that on the bottom. So it's gonna go in just like this. Yeah, all the way in. Just like that. Next, the kit comes with this fitting and silicone or some kind of sealant. It says to put the sealant on the fitting and thread this fitting into the bottom of the reservoir and then let it dry and test the whole thing for leaks. I'm not sure how much to put on, but I'm sure more is better than not enough. And there it is. I made a mess, but I'm sure that will seal. I'm going to be installing this pump like this. It said it doesn't matter the orientation, but the in of the pump needs to be below the reservoir. So down here is the in, so it's going to be well below the reservoir. And I'm going to be using self-tapping screws for this. You can use bolts or screws, but using bolts and nuts is going to be pretty hard. So I'm using self-tapping screws, which was supplied in the kit, to install this right about here. Alright, we got one. Yay. Okay. Alright, so I got two installed. I'm just going to leave two in for right now. I'll do the other two later. I'm going to work on the nozzle now on the intake manifold. I'm going to do all the wiring and plumbing last. I'm going to do the main install stuff right now. Okay, so we're at the point where we can install the nozzle. The instructions say to install it within 6 inches of the throttle plate. So really the only metal that I have is right here. Can't install it here. And it said it must be at a 90-degree angle, so it has to be pointing straight at this pipe. It can't be angled that way or that way. And it's got a pretty big fitting on it. It's not a low profile fitting like some other kits might have. So the fitting is like that. I'm not sure if I would install it on the very top. I would like to install it on the very top of this pipe so it's higher above the pump and reservoir like the instructions say. But I'm not sure if the hood will hit it or not. So I think I might install it right about there. But I want to try to get some measurements of the hood first, because I don't want this hitting the hood. I actually took a video with my phone, sat it on here, and put the hood down, and it almost was able to close, and it looked like there was about 2 inches of clearance above this. So I'm not going to stick it up like that. I'm probably going to have it sticking out right about here. So I'm going to start a hole right here, and before I get all the way through, I'm going to take it off so I don't get any material in the intake. Alright, so now that I have my hole started, I'm going to take that off and drill it off the car. Okay, now the drill bit that I'm using is an 11/32. So you're supposed to use an 11/32 drill bit and then tap it with a 1/8 by 27 MPT thread tap, which the drill bits and the tap do not come with the kit. Alright, now we can clean this mess up and tap it. I love tapping it. Alright, so we're about to tap it. Ideally you would want this sticking straight up so you can get it perfectly straight, but because of all the fittings and everything on here, this is the only way I could mount it to the vise. So I'm going to attempt to tap it like that. And first spray it with Some good old WD-40. And the instructions say when you tap this, the nozzle should only be sticking slightly out or flush with the inside of this pipe. And every so often I'm going to take it out, thread in the nozzle, and see how far it goes in. So the instructions say that they only want the nozzle either flush or just barely sticking out of the tube. So you can see this is damn near flush with the throttle body, so this is damn near perfect, other than that it's a little crooked. Okay, so it's time to install the nozzle. It comes with 3 nozzles, 3 different sizes. They each have 3 different size holes in the end right there. I'm using the one in the middle, and it's good for about 350 to 450 horsepower. And it says in the manual to tighten this by hand, and then when it gets hand tight, you turn it a half a turn with a wrench. Now I'm going to try to tighten it half a turn with this 5/16 wrench. I think that's it. I'm just going to turn this a little bit more with my channel locks just to make it snug. And now I'm going to see if the hood will close, and it should. That should be enough clearance. Okay, so we're at a standstill for today, kind of. The sun's going down, and this is still too tall. I'm not sure how I would even put a strut bar on this thing, because this is barely sticking up above the intake manifold, and when I close the hood, it touches. I took another video, and it touches the hood. So I think I'm gonna have to buy one of their low profile holders, because this one has a check valve in it. Okay, so I ditched the original nozzle holder. This is a low profile nozzle holder. It doesn't have a check valve in it, so I had to buy this to make the hood fit and close properly. And I also purchased a check valve to put in line with the line, because I didn't want to run without a check valve. You're supposed to run one so you don't hydrolock your engine, potentially hydrolock your engine. So I'm running the hose and the one wire for the pressure switch, basically where I've ran all my wires, up through the hole right near the pedals, through the fender well here, and I'm pulling it out right here. So I'm about to actually connect the hose to the nozzle. And to make it easier, I ran the one wire and the hose together, so I only had to do one pull. Save a little bit of time. And this hose just simply pushes in just like that. And now it's nice and snug. I'm probably gonna have to find a way to secure this and make it look clean, but for right now I'm just gonna leave it like that. Pull the rest of this wire out, and it would be just my luck that I just barely don't have enough hose. Normally I have plenty of hose. I'm usually overwhelmed with hose, but right now this is just maybe 6 inches, 8 inches too short. It'll reach the pump, but I can't clean it up and make it look neat. So I'm actually gonna have to go to the store and buy some more hose. I really would have been better off piecing together my own kit after this, because I spent, I think it was like $30 on that low profile nozzle holder, and I just spent about another $30 on the check valve. So I'm over $400 for this kit, and now I'm gonna have to go and buy more hose. So I guess you live and learn. Maybe piece together in your damn kit. Okay, so I got the hose connected. It's nice and snug. Now I just need to run the hose from the tank to the pump, and from the check valve to the nozzle holder. This kit's really starting to disappoint me. Here's the pressure switch, which is basically a map sensor. It's gonna plug into one of your vacuum lines, such as this one, which is where my eManage map sensor is plugged into. And it fits in the hose pretty good. It's pretty snug, and if I put it on all the way, it's not gonna come off very easily. And they do provide a vacuum tee for this system, which is this freaking big. The size of the tee is about half the size of the pressure switch. So this fits in here all loosey-goosey. So now I'm gonna have to go out and buy a vacuum tee. So I had to buy, it's kind of my fault, but I had to buy this low profile nozzle holder, a check valve. I have to go and buy more line for the methanol, and I have to go out and buy another tee. So I'm looking at like at least $420 for this so-called kit. So I'm pretty irritated that they gave me this bullshit vacuum tee. If it comes with a tee, it should be the same size as the freaking nozzle that you're using it for. This is half the size. I don't get it. So I'm going to put this back in, and now I'm going to go to the hardware store and buy a vacuum tee and some more line